Hello and welcome to Rosberry Crafts, my YouTube channel where I share all my crafty adventures. Today is January 17th, 2025, and this is episode 122. I unexpectedly took a 2-week break, just over 2 weeks actually, from recording, back to school, back to work, things were busy, and I have a lot to show you, so let's get into it. My name is Roz, and I live in Lake Country, British Columbia, Canada, with my husband and my 2 kids who are 14 and 13. I have changed up the podcast a little bit. I'm still going to do the chapters of like finished objects, works in progress, etc., all the things that I normally do, but I'm taking out the graphics and the kind of like in-between music. It adds a lot of time to my editing, and I don't think it's really necessary. Also, it gives me a little bit more flow of just talking through the podcast and talking from one thing to the next instead of more choppy. Anyway, hopefully it doesn't make a difference to your experience. If you really liked those dividers and making it more like a section, then I can totally do that again. But there'll still be chapters, so if you don't want to listen to a certain section, you can fast forward down in here. You can slide to different chapters and it'll have a little like, FO, whips, stash, I don't know what else, events. You can skip things if you want to. That was a very long-winded way to say that, things might look a little bit different, hopefully not too different. And I forgot to mute my phone, so there we are. Let's get, and now my show notes are all off kilter. I would like to say welcome to any new viewers. If you found me over the Vlogmas time for my daily vlogs, or if you just found this channel, welcome. I hope you enjoy my little crafty corner of the internet. And thank you very much to all my returning viewers for coming back for another year. I'm very excited. I've got some big plans in the works, and we've got I'm lining up some more interviews. This is a busy time of year for me, but in the coming couple months, it is less busy for me. So I've got some interviews lined up to add some extra episodes and some other fun plans. So if you would like to support the podcast, clearly I'm out of practice. If you'd like to support the podcast, I do have a Ko-fi account. It is linked below. You can donate a couple bucks or 50 cents or whatever you're feeling like. I really appreciate it. It just helps me with some of the costs of running the podcast, but I would do it free for you guys always because I feel like this is my space to share what I want to share on the internet. And so welcome and hope you enjoy. And today for you, I have, what am I wearing? Finished objects, whips, stash, events, and some books. So first up, what am I wearing? It is actually getting cold around here. I think it was like -2 out today. So I'm wearing my nice thick sweater. This is the super simple summer sweater that I knit for Nana Suemo in November of last year. This is a pattern by Hoki Locatelli. And I don't know what else to say about it. I love it. I love it. I wear it a lot actually, probably about once a week. And the yarn that I used is that yarn Habit in the worsted and the lustrous and Everest. Everest is the tealy color and lustrous is the light gray. I'm not going to stand up, but it is striped all the way down, same as on the sleeves. And it's perfect. I am wearing a long sleeve t-shirt under it today because I was that cold. What else do I want to say about it? Yeah, I love it. I did a split hem, which it doesn't call for in the pattern, but I decided to do that. I often do that with my sweaters because I do find that my lower half is a bit bigger than my upper half, so it kind of balances it out. Doesn't create such a sucky in spot at my largest spot. I'm sure I would have put some pictures or something up so you can see the whole thing. But there we are. And I am also wearing some socks, some hand knit socks, as I do pretty much every day through the winter. Today I am wearing my Hermione's Everyday Socks, which is a pattern by Erica Luder, and it is out of a Fireweed Fiber Co. colorway called Tea Time, and I love them. They are very comfortable. I didn't know if I would like wearing a pattern sock because I made so many plain, just vanilla socks, just stockinette. So I didn't know if I would like the pattern sock. I have some other cabled ones and they kind of leave a little bit of an impression on the top of my foot because I wear slippers inside my house, but they're actually shoes, but I only wear them inside my house. But they just create that little bit of tension on the top of my foot. And so but these ones don't seem to do that. They're great. They're perfect. They stay up. They don't get baggy. The yarn is deliciously soft. If you've ever worked with Fireweed Fiber Co.'s yarn, you know the colors are amazing. The yarn is amazing. You should definitely check them out. And I don't know if I have any Fireweed Fiber Co. on the docket today, but I do have lots of their yarn, and I'm getting the monthly mystery club again this year. The theme is Jurassic Park. I'll talk about that more in Stash. Moving on to finished objects. I have, because it's been a few weeks, I have 3 hats to show you. So if you watched my last episode, which was in December, you will know that I was knitting some hats out of Fangirl fibers in their DK, I think it's a merino DK. And I had a 6-pack of 50-gram skeins of the Rebellions Are Built on Hope. I actually won this from the Down Cellar Studio pigskin party from last year. And it's been sitting in my stash for a while, and I really wanted to do something with it. So I knit 2 hats, both colorwork hats, and I don't remember the names of them anymore, but they turned out really good. And then I had all these kind of bits left over, and I knew there was enough to make a couple hats, so I decided I made this very fun red hat. It is mostly ribbing, so it really, it doesn't look like a hat, like it looks tiny, but it totally fits on my head, and it looks super, super cute, I think. So, yeah, this is how, oh yeah, and I got my hair cut. I just got a trim. Just get rid of the dead ends and the unevenness, right? I love it. So yeah, this is a fun hat that I made, and this is using the Classic Ribbed Hat by Pearl Soho, which is a free pattern. Basically, they have a whole bunch of blog posts with free patterns on them, and you can just use them. And they obviously recommend their yarn that they sell, but it worked out good. And I followed the pattern exactly. So yeah, you could wear it super slouchy too, with like that, I don't know, there's that style where you wear like I don't know, that looks stupid. I would never wear it like that because I don't know how to wear them like that. But yeah, so that used up all of the red. So this is like a really, really deep red. It looks black on camera, but it's a really, really, really deep purpley red, and then a burgundy and a bright red. And that used up all of those. So that was hat pattern number 1. And then the second one, oh, and I haven't even woven in the ends yet. Oh well. This one was the rest of the gray, blue, and cream, which are the other 3 colors. Let's get those ends, pretend that didn't happen. And yeah, I just alternated the colors till I ran out of blue, and then I did the gray. I mean, I had a little teeny bit of the gray and the cream left, and I actually had a tiny bit of the red left too, but not enough. They just went in my scrap bin. They're out of my stash now. So yeah, I think this one turned out super good. I love it. I don't know if I'll keep it because I have lots of hats, or if I'll give it to somebody else, but the yarn is so soft for a DK or a merino wool yarn. So soft, so awesome. And I just used the numbers from the Classic Ribbed Hat from Pearl Soho, but didn't do the ribbing all the way. I just did a 1x1 rib at the bottom and then stockinette, and used the same decreases. I did them, I think, a little more rapidly. Kind of just made it up as I went along, but that was that one. And then the other thing that I'm doing this year, and I honestly can't remember if I've talked about it before or not, but I have some very old stash and I have a very large stash, and I would like to use up some of the older skeins that I have. So I've been picking out some of the oldest skeins according to my Ravelry page and making hats. So I made this hat. This is a pattern called Mary Berry from Vera Valimaki, and the it's it's a pretty plain hat. I made a size way too big. It's way too big, and it's not really slouchy enough to be proper slouchy. I think I'm definitely going to put a pom-pom on that because that would weigh it down a little bit. But there is oodles of room in here, and I have my hair down, so I don't think I'll be keeping this one for myself. But I'm sure somebody will fit it. I haven't washed it yet either. I need to do a big washing of all the hand knits because I haven't washed very many of them yet. But yeah, the yarn is the Elan.com Sock It To Me shades in violet, and so it's more subtle in person than it's showing up on camera. Also, my lighting is terrible because the sun's going down because it's after work. So anyway, it's a fun hat. Somebody will like it. I enjoyed knitting it. It was lots of plain round and round stockinette. And yeah, like I said, I'm definitely going to put a pom-pom on it. Haven't decided what color or anything yet. I think I'm going to put a pom-pom on my the colorwork hats that I just finished too. So maybe I'll have a little project of doing that this weekend. When I do my pom-poms, most of my pom-poms either have an elastic loop or a ribbon on them. So I sew a button, just a random button from my button bin, inside in the inside of here, and then you can just use a crochet hook to pull that elastic or that ribbon through and tie it off on the button or loop it around the button. And then that pom-pom is then removable. So if you need to wash the hat, you can just take the pom-pom off, wash the hat, put it back on, change the color if you decide you don't like it. Lots of fun things. So that was the 3 hats that I finished. And I have one more finished. Hopefully my hair is still reasonable. I have one more finish. And I don't know if you guys are going to believe it, but I finished my Snow Wonder. There are sleeves, full sleeves, 2 of them. See, there's the other one. Everything is done. Okay, let's go over the details. Snow Wonder is a pattern by Heidi Kiermaier, and it is a raglan sweater knit from the top down. I did the neckline after. I can't remember if it is that way in the pattern or not, and it's a paid for pattern, so I did bind it off where I had stopped on it, and I think I'm going to like it, but I can always pull out the bind off and knit a couple more rows if I want it tighter up, but I don't like stuff super tight on my neck. It is also laying kind of funny because I have not washed it yet. And then in the center, you have this beautiful snowflake bauble pattern. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I am so excited to wear this. Like I said, I haven't washed it yet. I might wear it without washing it. Who knows? I'll probably wash it once we're done here. And I taught myself how to knit backwards. I mean, I used the University of YouTube to teach myself how to knit backwards. Made the baubles so easy. The other modifications I made is this is a 1x1 rib on all of the cuffs and the hem of the sweater, whereas in the pattern it's a 2x2 rib, but I like the look of 1x1 rib, and then I do a tubular bind off, which looks great on the 1x1 rib. It's nice and stretchy, not too stretchy, but also looks good when it's kind of flat. It looks even, just like the knitting just ends. Same with the bottom. You can kind of block it out and have it stretch with the bottom so it's nice and even. I did not do a split hem on this one. I just don't think I felt like it at the time, but it's also a little shorter than the one that I'm currently wearing. I'm planning to wear this with jeans, but I may wear it with leggings too. So yeah. The yarn that I used is Cascade 220 Heathers in the silver gray colorway. And I reclaimed this from a project that I had made for my daughter quite a few years ago. She really wanted a poncho. Long story short, she really wanted me to buy her one of those ponchos imported from South America that are $100 and at some pop-up market that we went, and I was like, no, because you're never going to wear it, so I will knit you a poncho, and if you wear it, then I will consider buying you one of the fancy ones. She was like 10 at the time, maybe even younger. And so I knit her the poncho. It was a very basic poncho, but she never wore it. In an entire 2 years, she never wore it once. So it got ripped out, made into this beautiful sweater. I still have a whole skein plus a little bit left. So I'll definitely be making hats out of that because this is lovely yarn. So yeah, the Cascade 220 is a wool, and I love wool. I love wool. So that is it for my finished objects. I do have a couple things that I have worked on this week. The first one is my notes are like down here. I'm trying not to look at them too much. The first one, after I finished my sweater, I picked up my Zigzag Zen blanket. This was my Advent project for this year. Hopefully you're seeing some of the beautiful colors here. And I just finished this color stripe and I'm working on the gray. I laid it out a little bit. It's kind of hard because some of the stitches are on my try-it-on tubing, so it doesn't really lay completely flat out. But I think, and this is all the colors that I have left from the Advent, and I'll talk about the yarn in a bit. But I think, so this is stripe 1, 2, and then I have 3, 4 for this side, and then I'll finish the 4 stripes on this side, and then the blanket's going to be wide enough, and then I might decide to knit just stripes on the one end to make it a rectangle instead of a square. Haven't fully decided yet. I'm going to finish because I got two more stripes on this side, 4 more stripes on the other side, and then I will lay it out at that point, see what I feel like is a good, because it's just like a couch throw to throw over your legs when you're chilly or whatever. So it doesn't need to be huge. I will also see how much yarn I have left. I have tons of the gray. So let's go over the details. All the ones in my little baggie here. This is from Polka Dot Creek, and every year she does an advent calendar where she gets 24 different Canadian indie yarn dyers together and creates an advent calendar. And I got the one in 2023, so not this past Christmas, the one before. And then this December, I knit this blanket over the Christmas season, the Advent season. My plan was to knit 1 color a day. Unfortunately, as the rows got longer, knitting these gray stripes in between, I couldn't keep up. Like I could knit the 20 grams in one day from the color, but then to also knit the rest of the stripe for these gray ones, I fell behind, and that's okay. Now I get to finish it in January while it's still cold outside. So yeah, I'm loving all the fun colors. Like it's just craziness and it's perfect. If I run out of the Polka Dot Creek yarn, I definitely have some leftover bits that I could put into this to kind of fill it out if I need to, and lots of gray. And then you can see, maybe it's easier to see on this side, so you can see the edge has like a slip stitch on it. So my plan is to go around the whole thing and do some sort of border. I haven't decided exactly what yet. Parts of me is like, oh, you should do a crochet border because that's really easy and you can kind of fudge it as you go along. But this blanket is knit, so then you know, does that really match well? And the stitches are going to look different. So maybe I just want to go around the whole thing and just do like a garter stitch border around the whole thing. Maybe I want to get do an I-cord border, so it's not a big border, but just enough. I don't know yet. Decisions, too many decisions for me. So I'm just enjoying knitting on this. It's kind of my mindless TV knitting, because it's lots and lots of just knitting back and forth. And then hopefully I'll finish this soon, and we'll be good to have another blanket to go on the couch. I have one more whip for you, and it's another hat. Surprise, surprise. So I'm in the middle of a row, but hopefully you'll be able to see it. I have started another hat out of the shades, the Violet Shades yarn that I just showed you the finished objects out of. I am loosely using the Musselburgh pattern for this one. I don't think I have enough yarn left for a whole adult hat, so I am doing a child size hat, but maybe I do, I don't know. Maybe I'll finish the whole Musselburgh, the double layer. Maybe I'll just end it with a bunch of ribbing at the end. I don't know, I have more than I thought I did on here, but once we get kind of halfway down the brim, I'll decide, do I want to just keep going, end it? Who knows? I have 3 other skeins of this yarn in different colors. I have the mocha and I don't remember what the other ones are. There's a red, a tealy, greeny blue, and a brown. The brown is the mocha. That's the only one I can remember at the moment. So yeah, I'm just using the Musselburgh pattern, which is a pattern by Isolde Teague, and it's just at the like round and round part. So this is in my beautiful sister bag. I also won this bag from the Downslower Studio from the same one as the Fangirl fibers. And this has now become my on-the-go project bag. And it's nice and sturdy and I'm not worried about like putting it down on things with the nice canvas bottom and stuff. So that is that. I do have my granny stripe blanket still on the go, but I have not worked on it at all. So next up is stash. As I mentioned before, I am getting the Fireweed Fiber Co. Mystery Club yarn for this year. I signed up to get the Sweet Pea sock because I really enjoy that base. It is a sock base. I have one down here. I'm not going to show it yet. 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So it's perfect for socks or hats or a shawl or even a sweater, anything, really anything. So the theme for this year is Jurassic Park, which is one of my all-time favorite movies and also my husband's all-time favorite movies. We have the movie poster outside our theater room, along with a few others, but so if you don't want to see January's, I'm just going to show January's. It only arrived to me earlier this week, so maybe not everybody has it yet. If you do not want to be spoiled, skip to events. Otherwise, you have been warned. Okay, so here's January's yarn. Like, how glorious is that? Okay, so I'll try and find the inspiration picture. Oh, it's so good. And it's called Aren't They Glorious? And yes, yeah. So like the speckles, you're probably not even seeing it. It's probably not zooming in, but the speckles, I mean, really. Honestly, they're like a super dark green, and then yeah, I can't wait to see how it knits up. I really want to cast it on right away. I want to make something out of this yarn. I want to so I have a couple thoughts. I want to do something because there's going to be 12 skeins of yarn that I use a little bit of each of the colors, maybe like socks where I do just each section down the 12 different colors of these, so I can kind of keep those things in that order and have those kind of as an ongoing project, or just wind off enough yarn to do that. The other option that I have is that I think I'd really like to make a Musselburgh hat out of each of these colorways. It seems to be a very popular hat pattern in the style to wear it, like it's very wearable, and I really enjoy knitting them because it's so much just plain stockinette, just mindless. It's great for meetings, it's great for sitting in the car when I'm waiting to pick up the kids. So that is thoughts for that. Also, I was thinking blanket squares. Why not? It would look very different than socks. I could do one out of all of the Fireweed Fiber Co. yarns that I have for the past few years. I didn't get one last year, but I did the 2 years before that. 1 year before, no, yeah, because I got the Buffy and the Star Trek one. A few of them I have used for other things, but I think that would be kind of cool if I had like a square in each of them. But I don't really like the look of a knitted square. I don't know. I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know what to do. Thoughts, options. It doesn't have to use the whole skein. It can just use a bit. But anyway, let us move on to events, which is the Downseller Studio Pigskin Party for 24-25. It ends on February 10th, which is less than a month away now. So start finishing up your projects if you're participating. You can check out all the details linked down below to the Downseller Studio website. That is the main event that I am currently participating in, other than self-inflicted events like knitting with my oldest yarn. That is it for events, and I have quite a few books to talk about. But first, I wanted to tell you about the tea that I have. Hopefully it's focusing on that. I will also put a picture in of it. I get a Tea Runner subscription box every month. They make loose leaf tea, as you can see, and it is delicious. The one I'm having today is the Creme Brulee Black. Normally my black teas, I put a bit of cream or a bit of milk in. These ones are so good. You do not get any bitter aftertaste. You do not need to put anything in these. You can just drink them as is. It is so, so good. I just love it. With the Canada Post strike, I didn't get December's right away. I got 2 boxes in January. I've already gone through half of one of the bags. Like it's so good, you guys, so good. Also, I've been talking for work a lot this week, so my voice is going. For books, I know I talked about this in my last episode, but if you didn't see that episode or you don't remember, I am doing a bit of a completist project for my books this year. And I looked through all of the books that I have cataloged in Goodreads and Storygraph, which are the same amount of books. Anyway, looked for series that I have not completed reading yet, whether that's because the books are not out yet or because I just haven't finished reading the series because I got sidetracked or I needed the library book or whatever. For whatever reason, I haven't finished reading the series, and I am picking up those series and reading them. I have like a spreadsheet and I'm keeping track and I'll cross them off. So I'm very excited. However, I did read a couple one-off books before that I have completed between December 30th and now. So the first one is Midnight Marriage by Lucinda Brant. Brant? Yeah. Can't even read my own typing anymore. It was good. It wasn't like a rush out and read it, but it was good. It was entertaining, but I didn't really want to, I wasn't like, ooh, I got to pick this up and read it. I was like, oh, okay, sure, I'll read before bed, and this one's good, and it was fine. I kind of predicted what was going to happen, and it took a while for the story to get there, so it kind of dragged a little bit. But I read that one on my Kobo, and that was free with Kobo Plus. Not free. It was included with my Kobo Plus subscription. Let's make that clear. It wasn't free. Then I have Murder Your Employer The McMasters Guide to Homicide by Rupert Holmes. And this I listened to on audiobook, and Neil Patrick Harris is one of the narrators. I love his voice. I love him and everything that he does. I would watch him in anything. So big check mark for me. But this book was hilarious. So many things. It's just well thought out, very dry British humor. I loved it the whole way through. I could not wait to pick it up and read it. Well, I didn't read it. I listened to the audiobook, which I got from my library. The last one is J is for Judgment by Sue Grafton. So she has 26 books in this series, and I am on J. And I've got K waiting for me at the library. The J is for Judgment I listened to in audiobook form from my library. Unfortunately, my library does not have the rest of the audiobooks. I think they were actually like books on tape when they were first done, and maybe even books on CD. I should check if my library has the actual CDs. Not that I have any way to play them, but I could figure that out. Maybe my office computer has it doesn't have a CD player. Who has a CD player anymore? Anyway, I will read them from the library on my Kobo. So waiting for that one to come in. The other series that I have jumped back into is the Wheel of Time series. Again, I couldn't find The Path of Daggers at my library, but Mike happened to pick up a copy of it from the used bookstore in Vernon, so I am reading a physical book. It's crazy, just crazy. And then the other thing that I'm doing for my book series this year is all three of the other members of my family have requested that I read a series that they have already read. So I am also listening to Mistborn series. The first one is called The Final Empire. This is by Brandon Sanderson. And we own this one on Audible using our Audible credits. So I'm listening to that one on audiobook now that I'm done J is for Judgment. And Cooper has requested that I read The Keeper of the Lost Cities. I think that's what it's called. It'll be here. And Taylor has requested that I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. She has really enjoyed that series. So those are also on my list to read for this year, but I've only started the Final Empire one. I have a lot of books on the go right now, so I got to finish some before I start the next ones. But yeah, that is my plan. I'm diving into the series. I've got them all ranked on which ones I want to do first. I will be reading other books in between if I'm, waiting on a library book or anything like that. I read multiple books at a time for sure, always, but now it's going to be a bit more like in and out of different series depending on what's available at the moment. But that is my plan, to finish as many of those series as I can by the end of the year. So that is good for books. I'm just looking around me at like the carnage. I got notebooks, I got tea, I got yarn, I got more yarn, I got project bags, just everywhere. So I think that that's probably where I'm going to cut it off for today. I know this one was a little bit longer of a catch up. I am hoping to get back into a regular schedule of recording. We'll see. I'm trying, every semester is different with when my husband works from home or is in class teaching. He teaches at Okanagan College here. So I find it awkward to record when other people are in the house, even though I'm putting this out on the internet for everybody to watch. When somebody's like sitting right here, but I'm not talking to them, it's very awkward for me. Although Cooper is home right now, but he is downstairs playing video games with a headset on. So he has no idea what I'm saying or what I'm doing or anything. So, that was totally unnecessary information that I am just rambling now. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out the best schedule. I like to have an episode out for the weekend. We'll see how the schedule goes. I hope you bear with me while I figure that out. But I'm hoping to get a weekly recording kind of back into my rotation. So we'll see you guys again next time, and have a great week. Bye.